Watch out for this level for Nasdaq and S&P 500. If they drop below this level, we will have a bigger trouble. Welcome to YM channel. This channel is about trading strategy and money mindset to help you make more, learn more. Click like, subscribe, share with your friend. Now we look at Nasdaq first. Weekly chart. The first thing I'm going to teach you is without my indicator first. Okay, let's say you don't have my indicator, you can still draw the trend line. So you see we drop below the trend line. And one more thing, I want you to check out this level, this candle, the lowest point 23854.03. This level cannot drop below. If they drop below, they close below, we will have a bigger drop. Okay, and S&P 500 it's the same thing. S&P 500, we cannot drop below the previous low here, which is 6521.2 0.92. 6521.92. If they close below this level, this is weekly chart by the way, where if the weekly chart Friday they close below, we will have a bigger drop. Okay. One more thing I want to remind you is with my indicator. With my indicator, you can see there's already a down and the YM cup fast going downward. Okay. So this is quite easy way to see with my indicator rather than with the traditional technical analysis. You will see when the red going downward, this is our signal to reduce and to sell. And another thing I want you to check is the S&P 500. We have now we look at the long term. Long term is still going upward. Okay, we have a down signal here to tell you, hey, reduce and sell. And we look back the YM big buy. You can see a big divergence here. The big volume trade, they basically, although the stock is increasing, but the big volume trader they are selling. So my question is, who is buying? Who? Do you know who? Institution? No. Individual. The answer is the public is buying to get their stock and the big volume trader they are selling. Where is the institution buying? Is here. They are profiting out here. Another thing I want you to look at is let's say you don't have my indicator. You can check a free indicator called RSI. It is different from my indicator. This is free totally. You can still see quite a big divergence here. You can see the peak is lower each time. Okay, so for example, I also have a divergence for this drop. Look at the big volume trade here. I want you to compare both because you can use also free indicator, but it's little bit less good, but still okay. I mean, okay, so now with my indicator first, you can see this drop. The big volume trade is reducing, reducing, reducing. It means they're selling and the stock is increasing. It means the risk is the risk grow up with the stock price. Does it make sense? Okay, so higher the price, more risky. Okay, and then they big drop. Okay, they close below this blue line. It's quite a big drop, even they don't have a down signal. It's quite a big drop still. Okay, we can use other strategy to sell it, such as this yellow candle called OBOS. When the yellow disappear, when they close below the red, we reduce. Okay, the last point to sell everything is the blue change the direction. So far, we don't have the blue change the direction, but the red always go faster than the blue. Okay, so actually, suppose it should reduce some stock for S&P 500. And back to this point, I want to teach you something so you can benefit from this video. When you draw a line like this, when they go above this line, this is another price, the point you can enter the market again because they basically, they break through this divergence. They break through because they have a bigger volume trade than before. Than the average for this trend. Okay, but if you look at our side, we don't have such a pattern, but you can still see a quite a big pattern here. Let me draw you the line. So let's see if we can find something here. Okay, you can still see a divergence, high, lower, 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 lower. So it means we have quite a big risk building here because it means momentum is not catching up. So this is my worry, and we do have a down signal for weekly chart. So something you need to be aware. This is just a fall signal, or this is the beginning of the drop. Something you need to be aware. Is it possible right now? Is it possible this down disappear? Let's see how it goes. But right now we do have a down signal here. Okay, so this is the thing. And without SI, basically you cannot avoid this drop. I mean the drop back to here, back to 225 February. You cannot avoid, but with my indicator, you can avoid this drop. Okay, and basically after this drop, we building the stock again. And right now we start another divergence here. Okay, so this is something interesting, but our side show this is the same divergence. So it means the risk actually is building from before also. It means from here. Here we have an up signal here. Okay, so far we don't have an up signal. And now I want to go back to the daily chart. This is S&P 500. It's so much information. So remember that point, that level, you cannot break through. And you see this blue line is turning downward. This blue line is not a full signal. Especially the purple line is not a full signal. They tell you they are going downward trend. Okay, this purple line is a super long term trend line, and this blue line is the regular term trend line. The red line is fast trend line. Okay, so basically when these three in the same direction, imagine the boat, the engine, three engine, the biggest engine, the middle engine, the smallest engine, they are all in the same direction. They are pushing down the price. They are pushing down the price. Okay, if they're going upward in the same direction, they're pushing up the price. Does it make sense? And now you can see also here, are they in sequence? I also mentioned before, when we want to have a strong up, we need to have this three line in sequence. Red first, blue second, the down is purple because purple is the big elephant. Okay, so now when we are in the opposite direction, this is also in the opposite sequence. So which is purple, blue, and red. And now we all fit in this criteria. So something you need to be very careful. And you better to watch out the level I just mentioned for S&P 500. For the one who doesn't have my indicator, okay, you need to watch out this level. For the Nasdaq, it's the same thing. For the Nasdaq, okay, for the Nasdaq, let's say you don't have my indicator first. I want to show you, okay, Nasdaq, same thing. You can use trend line for weekly chart. It is a very good tool and you can do it for free. And also here, look for this level, 23854.03, 23854.03. For this level, you better to stay above. If not, they will go lower, much lower. Okay, so this is quite critical level. If you have my if you have subscribed my channel, you know I also basically from last month, I mentioned for Nasdaq, two things we look at. Look at this green line. This green line, I draw it. And this black line is the middle line of this channel. Okay? So, suppose we are bouncing inside this green. And this green is expanding. Okay? And so far, are we weak? Yes. This is something you don't need my indicator. You can do it. But you need more time. Okay, if you want to save time, use my indicator. If you want more obvious, cool, you don't want to do so much analyze, look at the chart, wasting time, you buy my indicator. You subscribe it. And right now, this middle line, we are under that. They even have a long wick here. Try to touch it. Try to touch it. but it fell. It come down like a slice. Look at this curve, okay? You can draw it yourself, by the way. And each time when I do the video, I want you guys, no, I want you guys, I want to teach you guys something, to share with you something. I know some people, they know many things. I just share my knowledge. So it's up to you to learn it or not. Now we go back to the indicator things. The blue line is still going upward. This is still upward, although slowing down. It means we are still in the upward trend for weekly chart. For weekly chart, this means the big picture. Look at the past few years. We have the blue line go upward, and the red line can go crazy like this. The red line tell you the fast track line, okay? And this is weekly chart. It's very difficult to make full signal in a very big time frame, okay? So now we go here. We go back here. The red give you signal, hey, I'm going downward, basically on this candle. February 2nd, this candle. Why? The first thing, they drop below the blue. The red changed direction. Another critical thing I want you to see is you don't need so many knowledge, by the way. You can just, okay, they drop below the red, they drop below the blue, you reduce your stock, it's fine. I also mentioned when they turn upward, this is your buy point. When they turn downward, this is your sell point. I mentioned many times here in my channel. So if you don't know this knowledge, please click like and subscribe and turn on the bell right now. And right now, another thing I want to show you is this yellow candle. I mentioned also in my previous video. This yellow candle is the last yellow candle. This is YMOBOS. This means overbought. This yellow candle disappeared. The last yellow candle is critical. They become resistant because we all under that. Okay, just imagine this is a ceiling. So right now, what happened? Many candles try to go above or stay at least inside this zone, but they fail. They bounce downward. Does it make sense? Okay. Why does it make sense? Why? Because we don't have enough money coming in. Look at this big divergence here. Okay, look at this. This is why I'm big buy. Tell you big volume trader, what are they doing? Who is the big volume trader for weekly chart, by the way? It's all the company, all the private equity, all the institution. Okay, so basically this is big volume trader. It's not you, it's not me. Well, I don't know if you are, but I assume you are not. So let's say they don't have a big the big volume they're selling. The red is selling. The green is buying. Look at this purple line is going downward. Even they drop below zero. It means they are very weak. The money to come in for big volume trade. They filter the big volume trade, by the way. So each time the price go up, who is buying? Yes, the public, the individual, the institution, they are selling. Okay, so it's quite critical. I want you to know this information. The same thing like S&P 500, basically. The divergence for RSI is quite critical. Look at this. Look at this. You can do it yourself, by the way. RSI, you can click this extension, extended line or ray, and you just point to peak and then they extend the line. And basically, it's nothing to do with the war or whatever. Basically, they just bounce down very precisely. Okay, very precisely. So this is quite interesting things to find. Okay, we are still inside this divergence. What does it mean? Let me ask you a question. When we're still in the big divergence, what does it mean? It means the risk is still here. We will have bigger drop later. Okay, so I don't know this is the start of the biggest drop or not. We don't know, but with my indicator, there is a down signal here. There's a down signal here. So I would like to alert you a little bit. especially if you believe in my system, there's a down signal, this is a down signal, and then you can see the drop is quite big amount. This is from 16,500, they down all the way about to 10,000. This is a lot. I mean, okay, what's the percentage? 33%. So 30%. So we are right now, what happened? We are right now just the beginning. Okay. And I want you to watch out for this level. I want you to watch out for this level. Okay. Again, this level better to stay above. If you have my indicator, you go with my indicator. They usually they go more in advance than the traditional indicator. Okay. So let's see how it goes, and don't catch falling knife. So let the falling knife to drop on the ground, then we pick it up. So far, this is a falling knife, okay? So how to know the falling knife is done? Well, we have few signal to tell you the falling line is done. One of the signal is the blue line. Okay, they change the direction. Another signal is an up signal. So we have few strategy how to buy. So watch my video, and I see you in the next video. See you next video. Bye.